So I am Joyce Tang. Tang, like the astronaut drink. For those of you that are of a certain generation, you guys remember that. I got teased a lot when I was in high school. My coach, my PE teacher, gym teacher, always said, Joyce Tang, the astronaut drink, right there, come on over. So that's kind of becoming a bit of a trademark. But anyways, so as an immigrant, I came to the United States as a teenager, and I continued school. I worked for a number of companies, and then I founded my own company. So my company is Agilus IT. It's a 100% women-owned technology company that helps clients succeed. So if you imagine they are Batman, we're like Robins. We're like many Robins, working behind the scenes and, helping them out. And so the reason why I started my company was because, well, I've had many great bosses before. And I think the funny thing with entrepreneurship is sometimes you just need that one boss, that very last one, that gives you that impetus to be like, I'm gonna go out and do this, And so that's exactly what I did. And because I wanted to deliver what we promised. And that was the belief. And I went out and did it. And so that's kind of how I started. And so I'd like to know a little bit about you guys. That's kind of, how I started. How many of you are in business right now? Whoa. How many of you are thinking about something, incubating, Oh, very nice. Now, how many of you have actually gotten a mentor, have been working with a mentor, have worked with a mentor? Anybody? Oh, okay. Very few right there. So you're ahead of the game. So the reason why I went ahead to get a mentor is because that I'm lonely. And for many of you who have gone through this entrepreneur phase, you've probably gone through this before where, man, you are full of energy, you have this idea, you're gonna go out and do it. You're a little crazy because after all, who would want to jump off this cliff and, try to figure out whether your parachute is gonna open, right? And so there's a little bit of craziness in all of us entrepreneurs. But when you go out there and you're tackling these things, sometimes it feels very lonely because, well, your family members may root for you, right? They're like, yeah, you're so brave. You go out and you do this. But secretly they're thinking about, gosh, why can't you just be like Johnny next door and just get a job already, right? And your spouses might be like, well, can you actually, pay rent or mortgage next month? Your friends, your best friends, I've experienced this a number of times. Your best friends, your trusted friends may give you all the cheerleading, right? But at the same time, they don't quite know how it feels to run a business. So really, they can't quite give you that actionable advice. They can't be like, oh yes, last week this happened to me, And so that's why when I was, doing this, I went out and realized I'm lonely, and I went out and get a mentor. And so not only did I get one mentor, I had a number of them. I went crazy. but I didn't, quite just go out and like dated everybody. I went out deliberately because there are things I didn't know. I figured I could Google, I could learn, like many of you, I'm sure you guys have, Google's your friend. I could Google, I could learn, but I'm not an expert. And I'm wondering, gosh, just how long would it take before I will become an expert in HR, in marketing, right? Social media, I'm sure many of you have probably gone to the other workshops. And then there's finance, and then there's projection, all of those things. I came from the technology world. I know how to fix computers. I know how to make things run, essentially. But what about hiring people? What about telling people what I do? Why is it that they want to buy from me? So I figured, well, I got to go get some help. And that's when I realized that when I go to SCORE, that was kind of my aha moment. When I went to SCORE, I'm able to find mentors that have decades of experience in all of these different areas. So Yoda, or one of these mentors there, maybe a, former CEO, right? A Gandalf might be the former, founder of, a major chain. And so the advice that they're able to give is really valuable. And the fact that they have been there, done that, that gives you that much more power. And what I also realize is, unless it's, if it's not clear enough, it's free. Their advice is free. And I'm thinking, wow, if I were to build my business, had I not had these mentors, boy, how much longer? I mean, how far ahead would it be before I can afford having all of these really senior people, in my company? And now with mentors, I have them free. So that's pretty awesome. And so the reason why I chose SCORE, and these are real mentors at SCORE, why I chose SCORE is because they're able to give me grounded, actionable advice. And I talk about the word actionable a lot because it's great that people are kind of giving you the sense of what's going on out there. They may be, if you're in a restaurant business, they may be saying, hey, this restaurant idea is kind of cool. If they run into different things, they tell you that's great. But when it comes to something that's actionable, that you can put it into work and you can see results. And so that's really the kind of benefits that I got through all the mentorship sessions that I've had. And so here's exactly what happened, right, when I first started. I thought I was going to just work really hard behind the scenes at home, right, in the garage at home. And I would open the door, I'll go into business, I'll work even harder, and then at some point business is gonna pick up, like, whew, right there. And then I sat down with some mentors, realized, hey, after Googling, that's not enough. I realized, this is actually kind of how it is. So I sat down with my financial mentor, a mentor that focuses in that area, and we figured out, sales above cost, looks good. Let's go with it. And then of course, in reality, this is what happened. And so I'm sure there's missing a third line. The third line is actually the number of Pepto-Bismols that it takes, as this goes, passes. So, and so really, that's what happened in real life. And going through the ups and downs, what's really been valuable with my mentors is that when business is good, you plan. And they help me plan. They help me anticipate, project, forecast. And when things are bumpy, oh man, sometimes you want to hide, sometimes you just want to vent. And sometimes they will allow me to do that, because, come on, let's, you got to say, gosh, why did I lose that sale? Why did I not close it? Or why did that client leave, right? And so they would allow you that room to say, hey, that didn't work out. So let's go back to the drawing board. Let's figure out why. And so we're able to brainstorm together and get ready for the takeoff, the next takeoff, and which is really important because as entrepreneurs, we're going to trip over ourselves many, many times. And it's the number of times that you get up, right? That matters. And so with this, what's also very important is the fact that I am still the captain of this ship. And they know very, very well that they are the advisors. So it's kind of like we're sailing in rough seas, and they are able to advise me, with the stars, with the ocean, with how the sea looks. But I'm going to be the captain. So I'm going to say, after taking in everything, I'm going to steer my ship this way. And they fully respect that. So imagine that, you may have friends who are like, do this and that. But then if you don't go their way, they're kind of like, I'm not going to talk to you later. I'm not going to talk to you next time you told me that anymore, right? But not like that. With these mentors, they're very respectful that they are your advisors and they know that you are the one running your business and basically, cradling your baby, right? So they're going to help you that way. So that's been very, very valuable. And so over the years of working with different mentors, Liz has mentioned that I'm kind of a long-term client, and I've paid a lot of money to SCORE, for mentorship. The biggest thing that I learned in picking a mentor is good mentors would champion you and challenge you, both you and your ideas. And why is that important? Well, you always have people that are going to be cheerleaders, and you're always going to have naysayers, in your life. But rarely do you get somebody that's going to really talk to you like it is, And so when I go to my mentors and I tell them, hey, I have this idea, I'm going to take my company a certain way. If something doesn't sound right, they're going to tell me, hey, would you reconsider this, right? They're going to point out why, and they're going to, again, be very respectful, and they're going to let me kind of think through it again. They're not going to be like, no, I don't think so because I have 40 years on you, and and this is not the right thing. So I find this to be great because, wow, that's fabulous. I have the senior advisor that gives me that much respect, knowing that we're all going to evolve, and they're going to look at how the economy is going, how the business trend's going, and they're able to see that what I'm thinking might be the new way, or it might be a dangerous path. And so for me, I found that to be absolutely priceless. And really, when it comes down to this free economy, right, this capitalistic world where you can be anything you want to be, but there's no free lunch in the world, this mentorship from SCORE, for me, has been the best free lunch I've ever gotten. And I think it'll probably be that for you guys too if you try it.